Okay, afternoon everybody. Hope everyone's okay. Right, what we're going to have a look at today is Trig 2. So we're going to look at finding the angles of a particular triangle. So if I take a triangle like this one, for example, just draw a 90-degree triangle here. And I know that that side is 12 units and this one is 20 units. And in engineering, these could be lengths, they could be forces, they could be voltages, they could be currents, depending upon what you're trying to find. But all we're interested at the moment, we'll just deal with basic numbers to get used to that, and then we'll be coming on to forces later on in the mechanics module. So say I wanted to find this angle here. I'll call it theta, which is a Greek letter, theta, like a zero with a line through it. If that's the one I'd want to find, then this side is opposite. So this side is the sloping one, so that's always the hypotenuse. And this one is obviously the adjacent. Sometimes you might see these as just A or O and H, just to shorten them a little bit when you're doing the calculation. So because I know these two sides, I've got a hypotenuse and I know the opposite. I know the opposite and the hypotenuse. I know from our original ratios that the sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. You put the numbers in. The opposite is 12. And put the hypotenuse in, which is 20. On your calculator, that comes to 0.6. So that ratio is 0.6, but I'm not interested in the ratio. I want to find out what the angle is. So using a calculator, if you invert the sine function, you can find that theta, the angle, equals 36.86 degrees. Okay, that one. Let's have a look at another one here. There's another triangle. If that was 5 units long, and that was 11 units long, and there's the angle I'm interested in. Well, if that's the angle, this one becomes the opposite. So this one obviously is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. We've got these two sides. Okay. So what have we got? Well, we've got adjacent and we've got a hypotenuse, and we know that adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. Sorry, I beg your pardon. We've got an adjacent and an opposite. We know that that's a tangent. So tan theta, should put theta up there as well. So we know that tan theta is opposite over adjacent. We know that the opposite is 11 and the adjacent is 5. Do that in your calculator. 11 divided by 5 equals 2.2. Now I need to find the angle, so I need to invert that on my calculator on the tan button. So to find the angle, I press the second function, tan, and that comes to 65.2 degrees. So this angle now is 65.2 degrees. Go back to this one is, I'll put this angle in here as 36.86 degrees. Okay. A third example. There's one here. Call the hypotenuse 25. Call the opposite 11. There's the angle I'm trying to find. I know that sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse equals 11 divided by 25. You do that in your calculator. It's 0.44. So go into the sine, invert the sine button again, and I get 26.1 degrees. Okay. To find the other angle here, I'll call this angle x. We know that the total angles in a triangle add up to 180, so to find that angle, and I know this is always 90 degrees here. To do that, to find the other angle, can you see that in the thingy? Just move that up a little bit. There you go. To find the other angle, we need to take get 180, take away 90, which we know, and take away 26.1, and that comes to 63.9 degrees. So I can put 63.9 degrees in there. Okay. My 26.1 degrees goes in there. 63.9 degrees there. All right. Okay. Now, to find the other lengths of the triangle, you can use trigonometry, or you can use Pythagoras. You might find it easier to use Pythagoras because we've already just done that. So on these examples here, which I'll put onto Solar for you, what I'd like you to do is work out all the angles and all the sides for these 6 triangles. And then once we've got these out of the way, we'll move on to discuss how we can use those to work out combinations of forces. We'll probably do that tomorrow. Okay, so if you have a go at those on Solar, that'll be great. Thank you, bye.